The neon glow of Seoul streets was never more alive than the night Huntr X debuted their first official single, Golden. Fans streamed out of every subway exit, clutching light sticks that flickered in synchronization with the latest choreography clips posted online. But beneath the glittering surface of the K-pop world, a secret war raged, a war only a select few could see. Rumi, the leader of Huntr X, adjusted her headset and stared at the crowd through the lens of the studio's security monitors. To the public, they were three bright-eyed idols, perfect in every smile, every note, every synchronized move. But in the shadows, they were hunters, sworn to protect Seoul from the hidden demons that had infiltrated the city's entertainment scene. It had all begun a year ago, in a tiny, dimly lit rehearsal room tucked away in Mapo-gu. Rumi, Myra, and Zoe were still trainees, struggling to meet the grueling expectations of their agency. What none of their managers knew was that a mysterious mentor had been observing them, offering cryptic guidance in private. She called herself Mimi. A Korean cultural consultant by day, she was a master of ancient rites and exorcisms by night. Under her guidance, the girls learned to channel their energy, transforming the emotional intensity of performance into power against otherworldly foes. Each step in their dance could become a precise strike, each note in a song a ward against malevolent forces. By the time Huntr X had their first public rehearsal, the stakes were already higher than anyone imagined. A rival boy band, the Saja Boys, had been appearing at events across Seoul, charming fans with their irresistible charisma. The public assumed it was a simple competition of fame and popularity. But the girls had sensed something darker. At a showcase in Apguj, Rumi noticed subtle distortions in the ambient light, a shimmer that shouldn't exist. Myra's intuition confirmed it. They weren't ordinary competitors. They were demons, capable of influencing emotions and bending human desires to their will. It was the first time the hunters realized that the line between the music industry and supernatural battlefields was dangerously thin. Behind the scenes, the making of Golden was chaotic and almost mystical. Songwriter EJ described the process as surreal. "We were literally on the way to a dentist appointment when inspiration struck. Within an hour, the core melody was done, and the lyrics practically wrote themselves. It was as if something beyond us was guiding our hands." The song, designed to captivate fans, also contained hidden frequencies, notes that could disrupt demonic influence. Each live performance was more than entertainment. It was a ritual, a carefully choreographed exorcism wrapped in glitter and lights. Despite their growing fame, the girls never had a moment to relax. Even backstage, as cameras captured their perfectly rehearsed smiles, they would check wards and charms hidden in the folds of costumes. Zoe, the group's youngest member, often whispered incantations under her breath, a nervous habit that had saved them multiple times from surprise attacks. The city's pulse was alive with both human energy and something far darker, and the trio had to navigate both worlds seamlessly. Netflix's release of the animated adaptation had catapulted the group into international superstardom, but it also brought new challenges. Overnight, millions of fans were dissecting every detail, analyzing choreography for hidden meanings, and debating the lore of the Saja Boys. Some viewers claimed to sense the demons even in animated form, a testament to the meticulous work of directors Maggie Kang and Chris Applehands, who insisted on blending real cultural elements with fantasy. The combination of high-stakes music industry drama, supernatural suspense, and rich Korean cultural references made the adaptation irresistible. Reviews praised its authenticity, noting that the animation preserved the intensity of live performances while capturing the girls' hidden battle skills in spectacular detail. By the time the first week of streaming concluded, K-pop demon hunters had broken records. Social media exploded with fan art, theories, and covers of Golden. Yet the girls remained grounded, knowing that behind the applause and record-breaking numbers lay a much deeper, unseen war. Every fan's cheer was a reminder that their mission had only begun. If one misstep occurred, not only would their careers be at risk, but the city itself could fall into chaos under demonic influence. Seoul's glittering skyline hid dangers that no one outside their circle could imagine, and Huntr X were the only shield standing between the ordinary world and the supernatural forces waiting to consume it. The second week of Huntr X's meteoric rise brought more than chart-topping success. It brought threats that lurked just beyond the camera lenses. Seoul's subway tunnels, usually filled with commuters and soft echoes of K-pop hits from phone speakers, became conduits for darker energy. The Saja Boys were no ordinary rivals. Reports from Mimi confirmed that their influence extended far beyond their public performances. A subtle aura of manipulation followed them, causing minor accidents, intense rivalries, and strange emotional swings among fans. The city, blissfully unaware, celebrated every concert and viral dance challenge, oblivious to the hidden war around them. Rumi, ever vigilant, spent nights poring over maps and fan footage, seeking anomalies. She noticed that certain venues consistently showed slight distortions in recordings, shadows that moved independently, a cold chill in otherwise heated rooms, fans fainting in strange synchronicity. Myra, whose intuition was unmatched, swore she could feel whispers through the vibrations of live instruments. Zoe, the youngest, had begun noticing patterns in social media comments, cryptic messages that seemed to hint at a larger demonic agenda. Huntr X realized that their public appearances were double-edged. They entertained millions, but they also drew demonic attention like moths to a flame. The creation of the group's music became more than artistry. It became a battlefield strategy. Each song, each choreography, contained subtle codes designed to counteract demonic interference. EJ and Mark Sonnenblick, the co-writers of Golden, admitted that while the melody had originally been inspired by a sudden emotional surge, the harmonics seemed to resonate with an unexpected protective frequency. Fans often remarked how listening to Huntr X's tracks could induce an almost euphoric energy, but only a select few understood it could also act as a shield against the Saja Boys' influence. In essence, every concert was simultaneously a performance and a ritual, a fusion of entertainment and spiritual warfare. The first major confrontation occurred during the filming of a live television special in Myeongdong. Security cameras, which were supposed to track lighting cues and crowd angles, began picking up shadows that didn't correspond to any human. The production staff, terrified, chalked it up to technical glitches. Only Huntr X understood the truth. As the girls took the stage, the Saja Boys appeared behind the cameras, not to perform, but to manipulate. Their presence sent a ripple of tension through the venue, barely perceptible to the audience. Rumi's eyes narrowed as she executed a precise hand gesture hidden within her dance, activating a ward that glimmered invisibly around the stage. Myra sang a high note that resonated through the hall, disrupting the Saja Boys' control. Zoe's subtle movement with a prop microphone channeled protective energy into the audience, preventing chaos from spilling into the crowd. Outside the spotlight, the girls had to balance fame with secrecy. Interviews, magazine spreads, and social media posts were choreographed to perfection, hiding the extent of their supernatural responsibilities. Fans assumed exhaustion came from grueling rehearsals, not from a night spent battling shadow entities in the alleyways near the Han River. Each post, each photo, was strategically designed to maintain a sense of normalcy, masking the high-stakes reality of their lives. When the animated adaptation hit Netflix, it amplified their visibility globally, bringing both acclaim and new risks. International fans marveled at the fictionalized exploits, yet the real Huntr X were already deep in reconnaissance, tracking demonic anomalies across Seoul. The mentor, Mimi, insisted on regular shadow drills, where the girls practiced detecting invisible threats in simulated environments. In a session under a rain-slicked bridge, Rumi whispered, "It's not just the Saja Boys we're fighting, they're recruiting, manipulating, turning unsuspecting humans into conduits for chaos." Myra shivered as spectral shapes emerged from the wet pavement, only to vanish when the girls enacted protective sigils embedded in their rehearsal routines. Zoe noted that these exercises were becoming more dangerous. The shadows seemed aware of their tactics, adapting with every maneuver. The line between training and real combat blurred, yet the girls persisted, knowing the survival of their city, and perhaps the world, depended on their vigilance. Meanwhile, the media frenzy around Huntr X escalated. Entertainment outlets reported on the meticulous choreography, the record-breaking streaming numbers, and the unprecedented sales of the Golden soundtrack. Social media algorithms amplified their every move, making Huntr X a global phenomenon. What fans didn't see were the cryptic patterns embedded in posts, subtle signs signaling readiness for battle, encrypted messages to those who could perceive the hidden world. While the public consumed the fantasy of K-pop stardom, the girls waged a war beneath it, blending performance with protection. Every viral dance, every live-streamed interview, every music video became a weapon, a beacon of resistance against forces intent on destabilizing the harmony of human life. By the end of the second week, the balance was tenuous. Huntr X had secured several key wards across Seoul, disrupted minor Saja Boys schemes, and maintained public appearances without revealing the war. Yet, the Saja Boys were adapting faster than anticipated, spreading influence into unexpected corners. Corporate offices, streaming networks, even the very fan communities Huntr X sought to protect. The stakes were no longer just about fame or music, they were about control, about ensuring that the city remained unaware while the invisible battle raged on. Huntr X had realized that their mission had grown beyond the confines of the stage. They were guardians, entertainers, and warriors, navigating a world that celebrated their art but remained blind to the darkness they battled. And as the city's neon lights flickered against the approaching night, the trio prepared for the inevitable confrontation that would define not only their careers but the safety of millions who had no idea they were counting on three young girls dancing to save them. The morning after the Myeongdong confrontation, the city of Seoul awoke unaware that it had narrowly escaped chaos. News outlets buzzed about Huntr X's electrifying performance, praising their unbelievable stage presence and perfect harmony. Social media exploded with fan-created content, slow-motion replays, reaction videos, and memes of the trio's signature moves. To the public, it was just another viral sensation. To Rumi, Myra, and Zoe, every cheer carried a dual meaning. Unseen eyes watched, waiting to exploit the gap between adoration and ignorance. Huntr X's growing popularity inadvertently amplified their responsibilities. The Saja Boys, emboldened by failed attempts, shifted tactics. Instead of overt confrontations, they manipulated the city's entertainment network, subtly influencing trending topics, streaming recommendations, and even fan interactions. Online polls and fan votes, seemingly innocuous, became a conduit for demonic energy, attempting to corrupt hearts and weaken the girls' protective wards. Every like, comment, and share was a vector. Zoe, monitoring fan forums late into the night, noticed that certain patterns of emoji usage and timestamps correlated with unexplained disturbances around the city. "It's like they're turning enthusiasm into energy for themselves," she whispered, eyes scanning lines of chat code as if decoding a map of invisible danger. Meanwhile, Myra's intuition began revealing more complex layers of the Saja Boys' plan. She sensed that the demons were experimenting, testing limits, exploring which wards resisted their influence and which could be corrupted. Each practice session became a lab. The girls embedded protective frequencies into new choreography, layered harmonics into tracks, and even adjusted their lightstick routines to create energetic patterns that shielded fan communities. Every public interaction was carefully orchestrated, a ballet that blurred the lines between performance, protection, and ritual. The filming of the animated adaptation further intensified the pressure. Directors Maggie Kang and Chris Applehands insisted on complete authenticity, blending real-world fan responses with fantastical battle sequences. Storyboards depicted Huntr X mid-performance, simultaneously singing, dancing, and warding against demonic shadows. Animators consulted Mimi to ensure cultural integrity, capturing subtle gestures, sigils hidden in costume patterns, and harmonic structures embedded in the songs. "The goal," Maggie explained, "is to make the audience feel the energy without realizing it's part of a battle. It's invisible, but it's there." The result was breathtaking. Viewers reported chills, goosebumps, and an inexplicable sense of exhilaration, proof that the ritualistic music resonated beyond entertainment. As their fame escalated, Huntr X faced new logistical challenges. Concert venues now attracted crowds that spilled into nearby streets, heightening the risk of demonic manipulation in uncontrolled areas. Mimi orchestrated advanced training in urban awareness. The girls learned to spot energy distortions in public spaces, detect subtle anomalies in sound and light, and intervene discreetly when a demon attempted to manifest in human form. They even developed signals for fans, subtle dance cues or lyrics that would alert perceptive individuals to danger without alarming the masses. Rumi called it performing on two planes at once, one for humans, one for the hidden world. Tensions reached a breaking point during a major live-streamed award ceremony. Huntr X had been nominated for multiple categories, and the event was broadcast globally. The Saja Boys seized the opportunity, infiltrating digital feeds to amplify anxiety and discord among viewers. Online fan communities began experiencing mass hysteria. Sudden arguments, panic attacks, and aggressive trolling emerged spontaneously. Rumi sensed the disturbance during the opening performance, feeling an unusual weight pressing against the protective ward she had established. Myra countered by improvising a high-pitched vocal sequence, resonating with the Saja Boys' energy and destabilizing their control. Zoe orchestrated a synchronized fan interaction, subtle gestures and lightstick patterns that created a feedback loop of positive energy, neutralizing the digital influence. The audience, unaware of the supernatural battle occurring mid-broadcast, erupted in applause, believing it to be part of the show's intensity. Backstage, the girls could only exhale briefly before the next crisis arose. Huntr X's manager, oblivious to the supernatural undercurrents, focused solely on ratings and social media engagement. Yet every action he demanded was simultaneously a test. The team had to balance public expectations, fan safety, and hidden battles. The stakes were no longer just personal. They encompassed the safety of thousands, perhaps millions, connected through shared fandom energy. Mimi warned that if even a single misstep occurred, the Saja Boys could convert enthusiasm into destructive force, turning loyal fans into unwitting conduits for chaos. Despite the exhaustion, Huntr X pressed on. Each day brought new viral moments, spontaneous dance challenges, impromptu interviews, fan-driven lightstick campaigns, all meticulously designed to strengthen protective energy grids across Seoul. They had become masters of duality, performers adored worldwide, secret warriors shielding an oblivious city. And yet, the Saja Boys' influence grew more sophisticated, hinting at a confrontation that could no longer be subtle. The girls sensed an approaching climax, a battle that would blur the boundaries between fame, fandom, and the supernatural. The question loomed: could they maintain the illusion of entertainment while confronting a force that thrived on their very popularity? As night fell over Seoul, the city sparkled with neon lights, viral trends, and the incessant hum of global attention. In a quiet rehearsal studio, Rumi adjusted her headset, Myra hummed protective frequencies, and Zoe aligned the sigils hidden in costume accessories. The world watched Huntr X as idols. Few knew they were also the city's unseen guardians. Beyond the applause and flashing cameras, the true battle for Seoul's soul had only just begun. The tension that had been quietly building across Seoul finally erupted during a sold-out summer concert in Jamsil Stadium. Tens of thousands of fans filled the arena, waving glowing light sticks that created a sea of synchronized colors. On the surface, it was a spectacular celebration of K-pop's global reach. But for Huntr X, every beat of the bass carried a warning. The Saja Boys had chosen this moment to strike. Weeks of surveillance had revealed that the rival band had acquired a fragment of a forbidden artifact, an ancient relic capable of amplifying demonic influence across digital networks. With their power combined, they could turn the audience's collective energy into a conduit for their malevolent plans. Rumi's stomach tightened as she scanned the crowd, sensing ripples of unnatural energy interwoven with the excitement. Myra whispered, "They're here. And they're feeding off the hype." Zoe tightened her grip on the mic, feeling the vibrations in the stadium floor as if the building itself was humming with hidden tension. As the first notes of Golden reverberated through the arena, subtle distortions began to appear. Fans' cheers shifted unnaturally, their excitement teetering into agitation. Some fainted, others argued furiously over nothing. To the untrained eye, it was simply the result of heat and excitement. To Huntr X, it was the Saja Boys' signature manipulation at work. Rumi's solution was immediate, a combination of dance and ritual. Every movement became intentional, every spin and jump calibrated to disrupt demonic resonance. Myra's vocals layered harmonics that pierced through the invisible interference, creating pockets of neutralized energy throughout the stadium. Zoe, weaving through the choreography, used lightstick patterns to form protective grids among clusters of fans, each glow a ward against corruption. Meanwhile, the Saja Boys were not subtle. Shadowy tendrils began to emerge around the edges of the stage, curling and stretching toward the performers. The audience, oblivious, saw only an amplified stage effect, but Huntr X felt the cold touch of supernatural force attempting to breach the wards. Rumi's mind raced as she signaled Myra and Zoe to adapt the choreography in real time, integrating unexpected spins and leaps that transformed into exorcism gestures. The music itself became a weapon, rhythmic pulses that resonated with protective sigils, harmonics designed to destabilize demonic energy. Backstage, Mimi monitored the situation, chanting silently as she manipulated hidden wards surrounding the stadium. Cameras flashed, capturing the performance for millions online, amplifying the stakes. Social media exploded with live streams and reaction videos, but each share carried dual potential. They could either strengthen the Saja Boys' reach or reinforce Huntr X's protective grids. Zoe instructed fan coordinators via subtle hand signals to direct cheers and lightstick waves in patterns that fortified the wards, turning the collective energy into a shield rather than a weapon against them. The first physical confrontation happened mid-chorus. A shadow, larger than any they had faced before, lunged from the rafters toward the stage. Rumi met it head-on, her leap punctuated by a perfectly executed spin that fractured the dark form into flickering fragments. Myra's harmonics followed, disrupting the residual energy. Zoe, quick as ever, redirected the surrounding energy back into the crowd, preventing a chain reaction that could have injured hundreds. The audience, still blissfully unaware, erupted in applause, mistaking the spectacle for part of the choreography. Despite their success, the confrontation left the girls shaken. The Saja Boys had revealed an alarming escalation in their tactics. They were no longer relying solely on manipulation. They were now capable of manifesting shadows into partially physical threats. The stakes had shifted from subtle influence to direct assault, and Huntr X realized that future encounters could endanger lives if fans were caught in the crossfire. The aftermath extended far beyond the stadium. Streaming numbers for the concert went through the roof, as clips showing epic stage effects went viral worldwide. Analysts praised Huntr X for their energy, precision, and interaction with fans, unaware that each comment, like, and share had contributed to a supernatural tug-of-war. Mimi warned that while they had survived this encounter, the Saja Boys were learning quickly. Every performance, every livestream, now functioned as both training and reconnaissance for their enemies. Late that night, Huntr X gathered in their secret rehearsal room, exhausted but resolute. "We've survived the first real test," Rumi said, her voice calm but determined. "But they'll be back, and stronger. We need to evolve faster than they do." Myra and Zoe nodded, knowing that every song, every dance, every viral interaction would become part of an ongoing battle that extended far beyond Seoul city limits. The war between the K-pop idols and the demons was no longer a secret. It was the reality of their lives, entwined with fame, fans, and the digital pulse of the modern world. Huntr X had learned one critical truth: the power of K-pop was not just in entertainment. It was in connection, energy, and emotion. A force that could save lives, protect a city, and, if wielded correctly, stand against darkness itself. The first major clash had ended in victory, but the war had only just begun. Seoul's skyline glowed under the night, electric with neon and anticipation. A special global event had been announced, the Harmony Festival, a massive live broadcast featuring Huntr X alongside international K-pop acts. Millions would tune in, both in stadium and online. For the world, it was a celebration of music. For Huntr X, it was the ultimate battleground. The Saja Boys had fully mobilized, gathering demonic energies not just from the city but from the networked frenzy of global fans. This would be the greatest test yet, a confrontation that could either cement Huntr X as guardians of humanity or allow the Saja Boys' dark influence to spread unchecked. Backstage, Rumi, Myra, and Zoe went over final preparations. Every movement, every note, every synchronized fan interaction was pre-planned to a precision that left even the production crew awed. Mimi appeared for a final inspection, murmuring protective chants as she traced wards through invisible sigils hidden within stage structures. "Tonight," she warned, "you fight not just in Seoul, but through every device, every screen, every heartbeat of those watching. Remember, connection is your weapon." As the opening chords of Golden echoed across the stadium and streamed worldwide, something unprecedented occurred. Fans waving light sticks began glowing in unison, their energy harmonized by the trio's meticulously designed choreography. The Saja Boys' shadows surged through the crowd, attempting to twist the energy into chaos. But Huntr X responded instantaneously. Rumi led a flawless series of spins and leaps, converting kinetic motion into protective sigils projected invisibly across the arena. Myra's vocals wove into the harmonic lattice, neutralizing the demonic distortions. Zoe's hands moved through arcs of intricate patterns, directing the collective energy back toward the invaders. What followed was an intricate ballet of music, light, and supernatural power. Shadows twisted into monstrous forms, erupting in bursts of darkness that seemed to clash with the stage itself. Each attack by the Saja Boys was countered with choreography and harmonics that were imperceptible to the untrained eye. Fans, believing it part of the show, screamed with exhilaration, unaware they were part of a living barrier against malevolent forces. Screens worldwide flickered with digital ripples as the Saja Boys attempted to siphon energy through streams and live feeds, but the protective design of the songs and coordinated audience participation created a feedback loop that reversed the flow, sending the demonic energy surging back at them. Midway through the set, the Saja Boys manifested their full forms, towering shadows with humanoid features, eyes glowing with a malevolent red. The stadium trembled, and for a moment, even the girls felt the weight of despair. But this was the culmination of every drill, every rehearsal, every fan interaction they had orchestrated. Rumi led a daring maneuver, a combined leap and spin that shattered the largest shadow mid-air, scattering fragments that fizzled into harmless sparks. Myra sustained the vocal resonance for the longest note of the set, keeping the energy shield stable. Zoe, agile and precise, directed fans' synchronized cheers, amplifying the protective effect exponentially. The combination of music, movement, and connection created a vortex of positive energy that engulfed the remaining shadows, dissolving them completely. As the final note rang out, the stadium erupted in cheers, fireworks igniting the night sky. To the world, it was the most spectacular concert in K-pop history. But behind the scenes, Huntr X knew the truth. They had just repelled the Saja Boys' most powerful assault. Their training, strategy, and unwavering connection with fans had succeeded in a battle that bridged reality and the supernatural. Mimi approached, eyes proud yet wary. "Tonight," she said softly, "you've done what many could not. But vigilance must remain. Darkness will always seek a crack." In the aftermath, media coverage described the festival as a performance for the ages, highlighting the technical mastery, crowd interaction, and viral choreography. Streaming numbers shattered records, and fan art flooded social platforms, interpreting the spectacle as fantastical. Huntr X, exhausted but resolute, realized that their fame was inseparable from their duty. Each like, share, and cheer was now part of a networked shield against the unseen. Their music had become a force for protection, their performances both entertainment and defense. Weeks later, the animated adaptation, now updated with the festival's climactic battle, soared in viewership. Fans marveled at the extraordinary stage effects, unaware of the invisible reality behind the sequences. The Saja Boys, having been defeated publicly, retreated into the shadows, vowing to return. Huntr X, meanwhile, embraced a new understanding of their purpose. Fame was a tool, fans were allies, and music was a weapon capable of shaping the balance between light and darkness. As Seoul settled into quiet after the spectacle, the trio returned to their secret rehearsal room. They were no longer just idols, they were guardians, performers, and warriors. Rumi looked at her friends, exhaustion and determination mingling in her gaze. "We've won this battle," she said, "but the war continues. And next time, it will test everything we've built, even the fans themselves." Myra and Zoe nodded, aware that the dual lives they led, the world stage and the hidden frontlines, would define them forever. The lights of the city flickered outside, each neon glow a reminder that while the performance may end, the unseen battles never truly cease. Huntr X had survived. They had risen beyond fame, beyond the limits of ordinary idols, and into a realm where music, connection, and courage were the ultimate weapons against the darkness. And in the rhythm of Seoul, across every screen and stage, their battle song continued, an eternal encore in the fight to protect the world.